Okay. Hello, everyone. So, welcome to webinar Adapting to New Normal. I'm Kewal, and this webinar is in the initiative of Brand Leaders Group Nepal and Digital Advantage. So, as I say, we'll discuss about Nepalको कन्टेक्स्टमा एडभर्टाइजिङ एजेन्सी एज अ होल अनि यसको डिफ्रेन्ट भर्टिकल्समा चाहिँ आएको च्यालेन्जेस एन्ड कन्सर्न्सहरू के छ भनेर. सो यो डिस्कसनको लागि चाहिँ वी हेभ द प्यानलिस्ट and I would like to introduce them. So we have Mr. Arvind Ranjit. He is the CEO of Business Advantage. Business Advantage is the leading ad agency of Nepal. Mr. Ranjit has been in the industry for almost 12 years, working for national and international brand. Hello, Arvindji. Arvind, hi. Okay. So we have Sabab. Hi, Sabab. So Sabab heads the business. Sabab is the head of operation of Digital Advantage. So Digital Advantage is digital agency, I would say. Digital marketing and strategy agency. And Sabab is from Bangladesh. He has been involved in digital marketing for more than 10 years now and has been working in different countries. So welcome, Sabab.
Welcome, thank you.
And Samir, we have Samir. Samir Pradhan, he heads Windmill Advantage. Windmill Advantage is in collaboration with Windmill Advertising of Bangladesh, and Samir heads the business of ETL. So welcome, Samir. So he's been in industry for more than 10 years, and he's also worked with number of brands here in Nepal, both national and international.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to, I'm really excited with the participants here. So I'm really excited to take this conversation forward. So as a good discussion, like I say, will more focus on marketing communication as a whole. To start this, a few guidelines I'd like to lay off here. So for the participants, just to inform you, your overall webinar, we'll try and limit to 1 hour. 1 hour, 40 to 45 minutes will be the discussion among the panelists, and 15 minutes we'll try and take your questions. So we'll try and answer as many questions as possible. For the participants, please the questions your Q&A tab the bottom of the screen ma mention gardinu hola. For the panelists, okay, so in case your internet connection ma ke problem I would want my colleague to take over the discussion. So I think we can start the webinar now. The participation are joining, and I think it can go on. So with welcoming everyone. So first question I would want to take up to Arvind. So basically about COVID situation, every industry has been really hit hard, and advertising in general is no exception to it. So if you can just take us through, what are the major challenges and concerns due to COVID-19 in the industry in context of Nepal? Arvindji.
Yeah, thank you, Keval. My audio clear, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, namaste and good afternoon, everyone. And Keval, thank you for the question. Basically, अब सबैलाई थाहा भएको कुरा नै हो कि अहिलेको केसमा every industry is suffering, हैन? कुनै पनि इन्डस्ट्रीजबाट उ छैन. I mean, general groceryको स्टोरहरू र ग्रोसरीको ओहरू बाहेक र चाहिँ नि यो मेडिसिनको सप्लाइजहरू बाहेक चाहिँ हरेक इन्डस्ट्रीमा डेफिनेटली यसले लार्ज इम्प्याक्ट गरेको छ हैन. र what we have seen in the past also is that whenever we had a problem in any industry, अब कुनै स्पेसिफिक इन्डस्ट्रीमा होस्, कुनै स्पेसिफिक मार्केटमा होस्, I mean earthquake for that matter, where I mean it was limited to Nepal, हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ नि what we have seen is that whenever there is a reduction in the sales of any brands in the market and all, the immediate action that they take up is looking at reduction of the cost. Cost कहाँबाट cut down गर्ने भन्ने becomes a very immediate reaction from the brands and the companies. जसमा चाहिँ नि अब what we have seen from our experience is that promotion cost is very easy for them to cut down because employee को salaries pay गर्नै पर्यो. कसैले चाहिँ नि लोन लिएर बिजनेस सुरु गरेको छ भने इन्ट्रेस्टहरू they can't skip हैन, र अरु जुन operational expenses छ they'll have to pay. So somewhere in their expenses को part मा चाहिँ नि what we have seen is that promotional expenses gets cut down immediately. So promotion expense is actually the ones that is going to cut down first and is actually the last to really revive, because सबै कुराहरू नर्मल भइसकेपछि बल्ल मान्छेले चाहिँ अब चाहिँ अब अलिकति मार्केटमा सामान बिक्न थाल्यो र सामानहरू जान थाल्यो खुल्न थाल्यो भनिसकेपछि बल्ल चाहिँ प्रमोसन एक्सपेन्सलाई रिभाइभ गरौँ भन्ने किसिमको उसमा जान्छ सो त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि वी बिन गेटिङ द्याट इम्प्याक्ट डेफिनेटली होइन अब इन टर्म्स अफ मिडिया कन्जम्सनको कुरा गर्ने हो एटिएलको पार्टमा विच आइम लार्जली लुकिङ एट होइन सो मिडिया कन्जम्सनको पार्टमा कुरा गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ नि यस प्रिन्ट इज वेयर विभ सिन अ लट अफ रिडक्सन इन टर्म्स अफ कन्जम्सन प्रिन्ट कन्जम्सन घटेको छ बिकज फिजिकल्ली मान्छेले घर घरमा गएर डेलिभर गर्नुपर्ने भएको हुनाले लकडाउनको कारणले गर्दाखेरि मान्छे फिजिकल्ली मुभ गर्न पनि पोसिबल छैन र कहीँ न कहीँ बिचमा आएर चाहिँ यो पत्रिकाको थ्रुबाट पनि सरसरे भन्ने किसिमको चाहिँ अब न्युजहरू आउन थालिसकेपछि मान्छेले पत्रिकाहरू घरमा लिन पनि गाह्रो मान थाले सो त्यसले गर्दाखेरि वी फेल द्याट प्रिन्टको कन्जम्सन हेज गन डाउन वेयर एज टिभी नट ओन्ली इन नेपाल वर्ल्ड वाइड नै टिभी कन्जम्सन हेज गन अप होइन हिजोको दिनमा जो मान्छेहरू धेरै टिभी हेरिरहेको थिएनन् अहिले चाहिँ मान्छेहरू चाहिँ घरमा बसेर टिभी कन्जम्सन भइरहेको छ बी इट न्युज एन्टरटेनमेन्ट र टिभी कन्जम्सन गन अप सो त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ नि टिभीमा चाहिँ त्यति धेरै फरक परेको नहुनुपर्ने हो इन टर्म्स अफ भ्युअरसिप इफ एनिथिङ आई थिङ्क आई वाज गोइङ थ्रु वान अफ द रिसर्च डेटा जसमा चाहिँ नि आई थिङ्क साउथ एसियन रिजनमा गरेको सर्वेमा चाहिँ नि 30,000 कस्टमरहरूसँग उनीहरूले कुरा गर्दाखेरि टोटल एभरेज भ्युअरसिप अफ टिभी हेज गन अप बाई 63% इफ आइ एम नट रङ होइन But the problem here is that because the brands are already in a mode of cutting down cost, so they are not too much concerned about TV viewership. बढिरहेछ घटिरहेछ के भइरहेछ भन्दा पनि अहिलेको लागि चाहिँ एडभर्टाइजिङ होल्ड गर्नुपर्छ वान टु कट डाउन द कस्ट सेकेन्ड अर्को चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि बिकज दिस इज समथिङ न्यू फर एभ्री मार्केट एभ्री कन्ट्री एभ्री मार्केट कसैलाई पनि यो थाहा थिएन यो लेभलको चाहिँ नि च्यालेन्ज हुन्छ र यो लेभलको चाहिँ प्रब्लम आउँछ भन्ने कुरामा त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हरेक मार्केटको लागि चाहिँ यो एकदमै नयाँ कुरा आएको हुनाले चाहिँ यो चिजलाई चाहिँ नि कसरी रियाक्ट गर्ने कसरी योसँग चाहिँ नि उ गर्ने भन्ने कुराहरूमा सबै ब्रान्डहरूले सिकिरहेको छ अहिले दे आर लर्निङ फ्रम अदर ब्रान्ड्स इन द मार्केट दे आर लर्निङ फ्रम इन्टरनेसनल ब्रान्ड इन द मार्केट सो कन्फ्युजनको स्टेट छ ब्रान्डहरूको बिचमा पनि के भन्ने के नभन्ने इज द राइट मेसेज सुड वी से दे सुड वी प्रमोट नट प्रमोट सेल्सको कुराहरू राख्ने कि नराख्ने भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ सो कन्फ्युजनको केसमा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अहिले वाट दे आर डुइङ इज इन कन्फ्युजन द बेस्ट वे इज टु स्टे क्वाइट भनेर चाहिँ अहिले दे आर गोइङ क्वाइट अल्सो सो अहिले डेफिनेटली talking specifically about promotional market,
yes,
brands are very, very slow. They have been staying quiet for some time, which we believe should not be the case, which I'll be talking in the later part of the discussion also.
Okay.
Generally, this is what we felt in ATL market.
Okay, thank you, Arvind. So, taking the same question to Sabab. Sabab, what do you think? Despite of people spending more time on social media and online, people are also online. Like most of the time, they're online, they're home, right? But then you also see at the same time, Facebook and Google are more likely to lose their revenue. Ad revenue in 2020. So, what do you think are the challenges with this?
Well, first of all, welcome everyone, and Arvind has mentioned a lot of important things here. So, Keval, okay, there are two parts of this question. One is from the industry and one from the agency side. So I'll just briefly say with few points. So number one, as an agency, the challenges that we are facing, because I've been talking to a lot of agencies in a lot of countries, specifically South Asian countries, and it's pretty much the same. So the few of the challenges that we are seeing right now is, as the digital consumption is high, and people are also a lot of people are more active in digital, so agencies are required to also adapt more faster than any other industry as well. Not I'm talking about the communication industry here. So they need to adapt on a regular basis as to what is going on, how they need to communicate. So adapting to the new strategy is very much of a demand right now for the agencies, and that is where we are all trying to focus. Secondary, obviously, we all know it's not particular to the agency. How we know our organization works are also going to change. So that is also another challenge that we're going to facing. Organization, meaning we are always used to going to the office and working. So now we are working from home. So obviously a lot of things has changed there. So how this organization works is also a challenge that we are facing. And third main point is the communication. So, we all love to meet face to face, communicate. If we're having any trouble, we are always there. Maybe we're talking to designers or talking to, our business relations. We are always there with them, supervising and, try to basically guide them how to do it. But now that we are all remote, so there is also a communication challenge that we are facing, and that is also something we need to we are trying to like adapt on a very we're trying to adapt very rapidly. Now coming to your second point, as to you say, though the consumption is high, but why the ad spend is or the revenue is low. So primarily these social media platforms or any platforms, their primary source of revenue is from advertisement. Now, I'll just share one small data here. I'll probably share a few of those things on the other side. So there's this survey that was done in over 25 countries. So which said only 8% of the audience said that brands should stop advertising, and 92% of the consumers or the audience wants brands to communicate. They don't want them to sell, they just want them to communicate. Now there is a lot of way of communication. So if that is true, what we have seen is almost 15 to 20% advertisers have stopped their advertisement globally, and almost over 50 to 60% of the brands have adjusted their budget, which means probably they were spending 100 rupees, now they're spending 60 rupees. So the adjustment has been done. So now what has happened is, now that the big players have stopped spending, so now there are a lot of ad places to sell from the social media side. So that has created a problem for them, which has brought down the ad cost on a record level. So now the per impression cost or per click cost is at its lowest. So now it's because now the small businesses can also give more ads. So any brands who wants to promote right now will get almost double the mileage or triple the mileage compared to before. So that's why a lot of the you asked, that Facebook specifically or Google, that they're going to lose revenue because of that. Even the ads are happening, but the ad cost is low, and also the shift in the budget will also hamper their revenue.
Okay, thank you, Sabab. So I'll take this same questions to Samir. Samir, you represent BTL industry, and BTL. When we talk about BTL event and activations is a hard hit here with the COVID.
Definitely.
When we talk about event, it's a mass gathering and all that sort of well, people need to be out there and enjoying the event and sort of things. So what are the challenges you see and the concerns with COVID-19 in terms of event?
Okay, yeah. Likely you said, so we being the BTL agency, we are the frontliners. So we're in the business of gathering people. But after COVID-19 outbreak, so social distancing has become the new norm. So even WHO has said to maintain at least a 1 meter distance and avoid any public gatherings. So I think for us, I would like to call this as the new abnormal. So as you said, we are the hardest hit service agency. I think with almost all our service deliverables are affected, be it events, concerts, seminars, activations, roadshows, even samplings, and any other experiential marketing activities that actually requires us to physically be on the ground, right? So now, given the present scenario of our country, and of course, all other countries around the globe, most of the major events, concerts, activations, everything is getting cancelled. So, and also it will take some time for people to gain confidence to come out from the house, and we have to wait for some time, I guess, for life to come to normalcy. So this might be, I think, once the vaccine will come out, but then again, vaccine might not be there. We're looking almost towards the end of April 2021 before we get the first vaccine shot. But we cannot wait that long, right? So I think the best is to focusing more on those service verticals that have low impact on the client side as well as low impact on the customer side, trying to lower down the human interaction as much as possible. So I would say, like, door-to-door services, we can have call centers, contact centers, and also this is the right time for innovation to ensure less human interaction. So I think those are the things that those are the actions that we need to adapt as soon as possible. So yeah, that's for the BTL challenges and actions.
Okay, thank you, Samir. So yeah, all three of you mentioned about what are the challenges that you guys have been facing in terms of the COVID-19 action that has been taken place. So I think I'll direct this question to Sabab. So what are immediate action that, immediate measures that you've been adapting to face these challenges?
So, so particularly right now, not only digital agencies, every company on earth is basically adapting to the COVID-19. So that is the first thing that any agency also needs to do, and that is also something we are trying to do right now. So first and foremost, we are trying to adapt to to the current scenario. Meaning, for example, as an agency, now we have innovated, we are coming up with a lot of services, we are coming up with a lot of strategies and communications and innovation technology as well that we are providing and we plan to provide to our clients. Now, basically the term I'm going to use is basically a COVID-friendly agency. So now we are trying to be a COVID-friendly agency. Why? Because basically, as also we all know, everyone is confused, not only brands, even we are confused as to what to do. So if a brand is confused, who the brand should communicate to? So you as an agency, if we create a kind of like a COVID-friendly package or a consultation, or like what sort of services that they can do, then it will be easier for brands who are searching for agencies, or brands who we are already working with. It will be easier for them to understand, okay, so during this time these sort of things can happen. So obviously, number one is to prepare and equip yourself for this current period, and also to communicate that to your current clients and existing clients, or the approaching clients, because unless and until we say and communicate, no one will know that, okay, we have a special services, or we have this special consultation for COVID friendly. So as an agency, that is one of the primary things that we are adapting. Secondary, obviously, innovation and technology are playing a big role. So now we as digital agency, we are always working with technology and innovation, but right now it's even harder for us to come up with even more innovative things on such a short time. But again, then a lot of softwares, a lot of tools are already coming out now. People are more used to video calls and webinars, so that is a segment that we are focusing on. And other things like also the consumer behavior is something that is very important. So we also need to focus on that consumer behavior and understand what the consumers are doing and spending time, so that we can suggest the right things for our brands, that what the consumers are doing and where they should be communicating. So based on all these things, we are trying to cope with all these scenarios and building ourselves up as to what this new normal is. And we are constantly communicating this to our brands and companies that we know.
Okay,
Yeah, Arvind. So same question to you, but is there any ATL ma it's more difficult, like you said, print ko alikati time difficult छ, TV मा viewership हरु छ. So यो सबैलाई consider गरेर चाहिँ is there any immediate action that you've adapted to in case of this considering these challenges?
I think this is an interesting question, because challenge or problems list down garna is not fun. Right? The fun part is to actually have a strategy to overcome that, right? So यसमा चाहिँ नि what we believe in, not only me, I think the entire group believes in that. We are going to come out of this for sure, right? यो प्रब्लम सकिन्छ, हामी बाहिर निस्किन्छौँ, र हाम्रो पास्टको जति पनि एक्सपिरियन्सहरू छ त्यो हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ वी गोइङ टु कम आउट फास्टर देन वाट इज प्रेडिक्टेड, हैन? त्यो सबै कुराहरू गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि द प्रमोसनल नीड्स आर गोइङ टु बी देयर, हैन? प्रमोसन्स विल नट स्टप, हैन? ब्रान्ड्सहरू छ, मार्केटमा सेल गर्नुपर्छ, प्रमोट गर्नुपर्छ, कस्टमरसँग कनेक्ट गर्नुपर्छ, कस्टमरसँग कन्टिन्युस टचमा रहनुपर्छ. सो प्रमोसन इज गोइङ टु बी देयर. I mean, the three pillars of promotions, that is media, client, and agencies, right? And all three of these parties are going to be there, right? So media ko format change होला. हिजो जुन तरिकाले media work गरा त्यो तरिकाले media work नगर्ला. जुन तरिकाले हिजो traditional media work गरा त्यो अनुसारले सायद आउने फ्युचरमा त्यसरी work नगर्ला. But still media is going to be there, agencies are going to be there, and the clients are going to be there. So promotional need हरु रहिरहन्छ, र जबसम्म promotional need हरु रहिरहन्छ, हामी as a agency हरु काम भइराख्छ, because we are actually known for doing that. We have experience of doing that. So त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीहरू स्पेशलाइज्ड टिम लिएर काम गरिराख्न चाहिँ प्रमोसन निड मार्केटमा रहन्छ र हामीहरूसँग चाहिँ रेगुलरली त्यो प्रमोसन रिलेटेड वर्कहरू हामीसँग भइरहेको छ भन्ने कुरामा हामी एकदमै पोजिटिभ छौँ. सो अहिलेको प्लान भनेको के हो त भन्दाखेरि त्यो मार्केट आफै रिभाइभ भएर आइसकेर मार्केट नर्मलमा आइसकेपछि क्लाइन्टले आफैले वेन दे स्टार्ट थिङ्किङ अबाउट ओके नाउ आई हेभ टु गो ब्याक टु प्रमोसन भनिसकेपछि त प्रब्लम इज गोइङ टु सल्भ इट सेल्फ होइन. सो द स्ट्राटेजी हियर इज अहिलेको पोइन्टदेखि लिएर बिट ड्युरिङ द लकडाउन इमिडिएट आफ्टर द लकडाउन त्यो पिरियडमा कसरी चाहिँ हामीले आफूलाई उ गर्ने भन्ने कुराहरू हो होइन. सो त्यो केसमा चाहिँ इन टर्म्स अफ द कन्सेप्चुअल पार्ट अफ द वर्क जुन चाहिँ इन्टरनल टिमले गर्ने पार्टको कामहरू हो त्यो पार्टमा केही पनि प्रब्लम छैन बिकज एज सबाब एज राइटली सेड वी आर बिन वर्किङ फ्रम होम फर नाउ वाट 46-47 days होइन. सो त्यो कारणले गर्दा हामीलाई बानी बसिसकेको छ घर बसेर काम गर्ने. एक्चुअली मोर मिटिङ्स आर ह्यापनिङ than when we used to actually be there at office because we want to get updates from every team. So the communication with the team is happening more regularly and discussion regarding what has to be done for every brand is happening more frequently. So त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि अहिले जुन एफर्ट हिजोको दिनमा ब्रान्ड्सहरूमा लगाउँथ्यौँ टिमले अहिले त्योभन्दा बढी एफर्ट लगाइरहेको छौँ बिकज ब्रान्डको तर्फबाट चाहिँ रिक्वायरमेन्ट स्लो डाउन भएको छ. हामीले चाहिँ ब्रान्डलाई चाहिँ होइन अहिलेको बेलामा चुप लाएर बस्नु हुँदैन. यु हेभ टु बी इन कन्टिन्युस कम्युनिकेसन विथ कस्टमर्स. यु हेभ टु build a better relationship with the customer भनेर we are giving them better ideas, more contents to work on it. जसले गर्दाखेरि हामीहरू इन्टरनली बसेर काम गर्नेमा there is no slow down. So one of the strategies that we are following here is that not slowing down because the clients have so slowed down. We're getting more aggressive. So more meetings are happening, more discussion happening. We're following more international campaigns, international contents, local market contents follow गरिरहेको छौँ र त्यो फलो गरेर चाहिँ कुन किसिमको इन्डस्ट्रीमा कस्तो किसिमको कन्टेन्ट र कस्तो किसिमको कम्युनिकेसनमा जानुपर्छ भन्ने कुरामा हामी अझै अग्रेसिभ भइरहेको छौँ होइन. नाउ द च्यालेन्ज एक्चुअली इज मोर अन द प्रोडक्सनको फ्रन्ट होइन. वन्स वी हेभ द आइडिया रेडी टु गेट इट प्रोड्युस्ड in a traditional way is a challenge because that requires you going out with cameraman and the team on the field to do production. So the change that we are bringing here is that now we are going to bring in a more COVID-friendly production process. Just to borrow the word from what Sabab has said. So from a COVID-friendly agency, we're going to bring in a more COVID-friendly production process. भनेको हामीले recently जति पनि ideasहरू दिएको छौँ, we've given our clients enough ideas, enough executions to be done in television and other mediums. With some communication content. It's not like a text-based promotion. हामीले एनिमेसन गरेर हुन्छ कि हामीले 2D एनिमेसन गरेर हुन्छ कि हामीले पुरानो फुटेजलाई युटिलाइज गरेर चाहिँ त्यसमा चाहिँ नि हामीले नयाँ भोइस ओभर राखेर हुन्छ कि हैन. So the strategy here is to give them content as well as way to produce and release them. हैन. One more point, as an example I would like to share, हामीहरू recently just before the lockdown happened, we were outside Valley doing production for one of our clients. हैन. त्यो प्रोडक्सनमा जाने बेलासम्ममा हामीलाई चाहिँ नि यो कोरोनाको यो लेभलको लकडाउन हुन्छ भन्ने कुराहरु हामीलाई ठ्याक्कै थाहा थिएन. बट वी आर एक्सपेक्टिङ दैट समथिङ इज गोइङ टु ह्यापन बिकज वर्ल्ड वाइड केही न केही देखिन थालिसकेको थियो. नेपालमा केस नभए तापनि बिस्तारै यो इन्डियामा चाइनामा जुन हिसाबले चाहिँ ग्रो हुन्छ, जुन हिसाबले इफेक्ट गर्छ, हामीलाई पनि इफेक्ट गर्छ भन्ने थाहा थियो. सो ड्युरिङ द प्रोडक्सन प्रोसेस इटसेल्फ when we are doing the production को part, when we are outside the valley doing shoot with few of the known celebrities here in Nepal, हामी there and then what we decided was भोलि गएर हामी फर्केर आइसकेपछि प्रोडक्सन गर्ने पोसिबिलिटिज भएन भने हामीलाई गाह्रो हुन्छ भनेर हामीले त्यही बसेर त्यही अन द स्पट डिसाइड गरेर अन द स्पट प्लानिङ गरेर हामीले त्यहाँ बसेर एउटा कोरोनासँग रिलेटेड हामीले कन्टेन्ट रेडी गरेर उहाँहरुसँग लिएर हामीले सेपरेटको शूट पनि गर्यौं के. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइङ टु से इज दैट अब हामीसँग त्यो अपर्चुनिटी छैन. त्यतिखेर गयो, लकीली वी ह्याड दैट कन्टेन्ट व्हिच वी कुड कम ब्याक, वर्क अन द डेस्क, एडिट इट एन्ड देन रिलीज इट. हैन. So the idea here is that not only giving them concepts but also giving them ways to produce that content by staying at home, and also give them relevant platforms, be it digital or ATL or BTL. So definitely immediately it's very very challenging, but relevant platform to reach their customers. So हाम्रो भनाइ के हो भन्दाखेरि this is the time when you have to be in a good relation with good contact with your customers. हामीले अहिले हाम्रो कस्टमरलाई हामी छौं है, तपाईहरुको लागि हामी गर्न सक्छौं है, केही परे पनि हामी छौं भन्ने किसिमको मेसेज पठाउन सकेनौ भने चाहिँ नि भोलि गएर त्यो कस्टमरले हाम्रो ब्रान्डलाई हेर्ने तरिकामा फरक आउँछ. So the kind of idea, the kind of content that we are giving to our customers is more aligned towards that.
So what you're saying is, despite of whatever is happening, ATL side, you're trying to come up with different things and proposing clients on a daily basis, and yeah, that's the measure that you're taking at the moment.
Yes, we are not slowing down because हामीलाई थाहा छ स्लो डाउन हुने पिरियड होइन यो. अहिले हो जुन बेलामा चाहिँ मान्छे घरमा बसेर कन्जम्पसन इज हायर, digital consumption is higher, TV consumption is higher. So when your customers are consuming media, you have to be in that medium, and
Right.
not with a sales message. I mean, you cannot you exploit गर्न मिल्दैन अहिलेको सिचुएसनलाई to sell your brands. You'll have to be relevant, and we are giving them enough relevant contents, and I mean happily, I mean a lot of our clients are appreciating that also.
Okay. So Samir, you mentioned that challenges धेरै छ इभेन्ट गर्ने केसमा चाहिँ यो कोभिडले गर्दा च्यालेन्जेसहरू धेरै छ, तर इमिडिएट मेजर्सहरूको केसमा चाहिँ केही एडाप्टेसन्सहरू भएको छ, केही वर्क अपन भएको छ त्यसमा चाहिँ, सो द्याट यु क्यान गो ब्याक टु नर्मल एज सुन एज इट गेट्स ओभर अर गेट ब्याक टु नर्मल.
ओके, इमिडिएट एक्सन्सहरू भन्दाखेरि पनि इमिडिएट भन्नाले आजको भोलि नै भन्ने त्यस्तो चाहिँ अब सिचुएसन पनि छैन. प्लस बिटिएल अब डुइङ एनी एक्टिभेसन्स अर एनी सर्ट्स अफ इभेन्ट्स अल्सो रिक्वायर्स permission from a government level, and government itself is in lockdown. Then, yeah, but then going forward, let's say, let's not put coronavirus as the stopping factor. Going forward, we should more focus on door-to-door activities as Laksa. Basically, how we perform is we perform in two different environments. One is the control environment and one is uncontrolled environment. So, अहिले चाहिँ कोरोना भाइरसको पेन्डेमिकलाई हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's more advisable to focus more on the controlled environment activations. Just say if we do door to door, we can control it much more better than you go in a crowd and do an event or concert. Besides call centers, so if a client wants to have a touch base with their prospective customers, then probably call centers might be a good way to transfer all the information from the client end to the customers end. And I would say we also should focus more on HR sourcing, because being a BTL agency, we also deal with a lot of HR sourcing. So because of COVID-19, majority of people are out of jobs already, and there are more out of jobs. So probably this is an opportunity where you can create jobs for those who have lost the jobs. So HR sourcing can be a primary focus, and every thread I would say opportunity comes out. So probably we can do lots of health related campaigns. We can also work with governments in trying to accelerate what government is doing. So those are the focuses I think that as a BTL agency we should focus into in coming.
Thank you, Samir. So, okay, I think we've received few questions. Questions चाहिँ हामीले एकछिन पछि दिन्छौँ, तर you can put on your questions. So Q&A मा चाहिँ questions हरु राख्दै गर्नु होला. So हामी one by one चाहिँ त्यो question in few minutes time चाहिँ हामी त्यो लिन्छौँ. So going forward, so Arvind, when you said you tried and you कति क्लाइन्टहरुलाई चाहिँ प्रपोज पनि गरेका छौं भन्ने कुराहरु पनि गर्नुभयो हैन. So few of the clients are trying to do it. So your time if few of your brands are active and stuff, so how do you think अरु ब्रान्डहरु जो चाहिँ एक्टिभ हुन चाहन्छन्, this would be communicating during this this crisis को टाइममा?
Okay, so basically when we look at your last 2-3 months the way communication happening, one largely regarding and in contact with COVID related communications, we've seen it emerging very fast. Jastै सुरुमा when it became a news in the media, from the government level, media ko level ma, largely every brand started going into wash your hands, हात धुनुपर्छ, safety up now, and symptomsहरुलाई चाहिँ नि प्रमोट गर्ने मोडमा गइरहेको थियो. त्यसपछि slowly switched into when every country slowly started going into lockdowns and all, then they started talking about staying home, staying safe, not going out, supporting the government by staying home, not helping to spread. बिस्तारै त्यसपछि गएर चाहिँ नि यो त्यहाँबाट गएर चाहिँ नि यो फ्रन्टलाइन वर्कर्सहरूलाई चाहिँ सल्युट गर्ने किसिमको क्याम्पेन्सहरू आउन थाल्यो where people started talking about, okay, you are there for us, you helping us be safe from this disease, and thank you for that, salute for those things भन्ने कुरा आउन थाल्यो र अहिले आएर चाहिँ एक लेभल कम्युनिकेसन कस्तो आइरहेको छ भन्दाखेरि I mean, we're going to go out of this problem also. हामी यहाँबाट निस्किन्छौँ र हामी यहाँबाट राम्रैसँग निस्किन्छौँ and we're going to revive this situation भन्ने किसिमको पनि कन्टेन्ट आउँछ. So when we talk about being relevant in the market, I mean, अहिलेको समयमा what we don't want our brands or any brand to do is to exploit, as I said. Problem छ, problem भएको बेलामा अब I mean, I don't want any alcohol brand to come out and say कि हुन्छ नि घरमा बसिरहेको छ, टेन्सन छ, रक्सी खाऊ, रिल्याक्स गर भनेर भन्न चाहिँ it's not the right way of communicating. But if any particular brand, for that matter, could focus on their core positioning as to how the brand is positioned, right? And try and make it more relevant for the customers. होइन अहिलेको जमाना र अहिलेको मार्केटिङ भनेको रिलेसनसिप मार्केटिङको जमाना हो होइन. हिजोको दिनमा चाहिँ नि ब्रान्डले सेल्स बेस्ड मेसेज फ्लोट गर्थ्यो र कुनै पनि ब्रान्डको सेल्स भइसकेपछि त्यो काम मेरो काम सक्यो, I mean, एडभर्टाइजिङको काम सक्यो अथवा चाहिँ मार्केटिङको कामहरू सक्यो भन्ने किसिमको फिलिङ गर्थ्यो भने अहिले चाहिँ इट्स मोर अन रिलेसनसिप. As soon as your customer tries or buys your product, your relation with your customer starts, and that is where the marketing possibilities grow. Right? That is why the data regarding the customers, consumers is very, very important in these days. You know? So त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ when you talking about relationship marketing, the most important part is to have a meaningful relationship with your customers. त्यो भनेको मतलब के हो त भन्दाखेरि अहिलेको बेलामा तपाईको कस्टमरलाई कुनै पनि किसिमको प्रब्लम परिरहेको छ र कुनै पनि च्यालेन्जहरू भइरहेको छ भने त्यो च्यालेन्ज परेको बेलामा यो ब्रान्ड, यो कम्पनी, यो चिज तपाईहरुसँग छ है भन्ने कुरा कम्युनिकेट गर्ने हो नि. जस्तै अहिले I hear Gold Star supporting यो frontline workers by giving them the shoes and PPE is required. हैन. So those kind of things people are going to remember. ए गरेको थियो है, नेपालको ब्रान्डले पनि यस्तो गरेको थियो है भन्ने कुरा सम्झिन्छ मान्छेहरुले हैन. हामीले हाम्रो चाहिँ नि कन्स्ट्रक्सन रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट्सहरुको जुन कम्पनीजहरु छ उहाँहरुलाई चाहिँ हामीले कस्तो किसिमको कन्टेन्टमा अहिले काम गर्नु भनेर उहाँहरुलाई सजेस्ट गरिरहेको छौं भन्दाखेरि I mean there are a lot of construction related laborers जसले अहिले काम पाइरहेको छैन. उनीहरु अहिले भोकै बसिरहेको छ होला हैन. कुनै काठमाडौँमा फसिरहेको होला, कोही मान्छे घर फर्केर घर पनि उसो के पनि छैन अहिले, बिकज उसले यहाँ काम गरेर उसले सायद घरमा सपोर्ट गरिरहेको थियो होला. पनि I mean a simple communication like हुन्छ नि, if you need any help we are there. हैन, तपाईलाई के रिलिफ चाहिन्छ, के सपोर्ट चाहिन्छ भने I mean you can come in contact to us directly or through dealers or through your contractor भन्ने मेसेज मात्र पनि हामीले क्यारी गर्न सक्यौं र कम्युनिकेट गर्न सक्यौं उहाँहरुलाई भने चाहिँ त्यो चीज is going to be there with them for their life. हैन. So it is not only about कसले तपाईको प्रोडक्ट किनेर तपाईलाई पैसा दिइराको छ मात्रै होइन कि तपाईको प्रोडक्ट युटिलाइज गर्नको लागि, तपाईको प्रोडक्टलाई मार्केटसम्म पुर्याउनको लागि र तपाईको प्रोडक्टलाई कन्ज्युमरले एक्सपीरियन्स गर्नको लागि जुन हेल्प गरिरहेको जुन ट्रेड छ त्यो ट्रेड भित्र पनि यति धेरै मान्छेहरु हुन सक्छ जसमा चाहिँ तपाईले हेल्प गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ के. So the idea here is to be in continuous contact, have a good relationship with your customers. This is very very important. जुन चीज चाहिँ अहिले हामीहरु हरेक ब्रान्डलाई बुझाउन कोसिस गरिरहेको छौं हैन. And we are actually also thinking of making a small free consultation package for different brands, starting with our existing client right now, wherein we talk to them on a larger level in terms of what it is you have to do in the current scenario, how can you utilize all the possible platforms, and what is the meaningful communication for your particular industry, because industry wise फरक हुन सक्छ. मैले तपाईलाई I just gave you example of construction industry. A similar examples can be true for other industries also. Or there may be the simple कुरा, I mean हुन्छ नि अहिले currently as a normal banking customer I have account with 3-4 different banks हैन. तर मलाई अहिले परेको बेलामा कुनै ब्याङ्किङ नीडको लागि मैले कुनै ब्याङ्कको कस्टमर केयरलाई फोन गरे अथवा मेरो ब्याङ्कको कुनै कन्ट्याक्टलाई मैले फोन गरेर मैले कुनै रिक्वेस्ट गरे, can something be solved without me being able to physically be there भन्ने कुरा गरे नि त्यो पर्टिकुलर टाइममा त्यो ब्याङ्कले मलाई ओके normally this is not what we do but because of the problem we are helping you out with this भन्ने कुराहरु गरेर उहाँले हेल्प गरिदिनु भयो भने, and that's a direct communication going to the customer directly. So त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ मलाई के हुन्छ नि ए मेरो लागि सोच्ने ब्याङ्क भनेको यो हो है भन्ने कुरा मेरो मनमा बसिरहेको छ. So communication content has to be relevant हैन. You have to make them feel that okay you are there whenever required. So it is not only about your customers who are giving you money by buying your products or using your services, but also your trade.
Okay.
Also, I hope I answered the question.
So what you're saying is, so one part is of being relevant, and अर्को part भनेको चाहिँ like not पुरानो learning but everydayको learning. अहिले यो कोभिड सँगै चाहिँ everydayको learning लाई लिएर चाहिँ we should the brand should be advertising.
I mean, it is very difficult at this situation to be the larger part of it is to react fast. I mean, पहिला चाहिँ अब reactive होइन proactive हुनुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा गरेको थियो नि. अहिले proactivity if can happen is good. Otherwise, reacting fast is also very, very required. So as soon as you see a certain change in the market, त्यो change सँग कसरी react गर्ने र कसरी त्यसमा चाहिँ cope गर्ने र adapt गर्ने is very, very important.
So, thank you so much. So, okay, my next question is to Sabab. So, Sabab, there are different school of thoughts, होइन अहिले अब human being generally चाहिँ अब अहिलेको टाइम अनुसारले कसरी चेन्ज हुन्छ भन्छ, कतिले हुन्छ. So there are different school of thoughts. So human being generally go to their default setting, by any case. So just as how human are, right? So what do you think? कस्तो खालको चेन्जहरु चाहिँ हामीले in consumer behavior expect गर्न सक्छौं in terms of digital and in terms of in general activities also?
So I'll just come to that. So what Arvindai said, just to add on to it, few things. I'll just go back to my data again. So again, the data I'm referring to is a barometer survey by Kantar, which is done in 30 countries, over 25,000 audience. So I'll just say one line so that you get an understanding of what the brand should be doing. So as per the survey, number one, likely said, like there is a very little expectation for brands to stop advertising. Only 8% responded, they should stop advertising. So what basically this survey tells us is if the brand goes dark for over 6 months, or let's say 3 months or 4 months, so their overall reduction in total brand communication awareness will also go down. So potentially, basically, they will be delaying recovery in the post-pandemic situation, because it's people who are brands that will be communicating will come out strong at this time. And even the brands who are thinking of doing advertising right at this moment, so what does the audience want? So the audience wants the brand to be helpful in their everyday life. Okay, they want them to inform about the current situation, and they also should assure or like offer a reassuring tone, not say, not be very negative that okay, everything is sad, so we are also sad. So give them hope. And one of the things is what the audience also mentioned is not to exploit this situation to sell the products. Meaning, as in, we have seen a lot of people trying to sell hand sanitizers, masks, selling the coronavirus or products who would probably want to utilize this situation. Like maybe because immunity is an issue right now. So if you have some sort of, let's say, vitamin C drink or orange drink, you cannot sell your product, or you should not sell your product saying, okay, you will probably have better immunity, so buy my product. So these are a few of the things that came out, and these are a huge sample size. So we need to give value to this kind of data. Saying that, we also have digital data to look at. So the consumer behavior, which I have previously mentioned on my webinar, so I'll just keep it very short. So there are a lot of people basically who are reacting to this pandemic in their own way. So some has, there are few people who are really worried about their money, like is my banking, so they are looking for all the banking apps. Probably they have started downloading in a local situation, all the bank who provides virtual services, who have better customer service. So they are probably looking and searching for those banks right now. There are a huge chunk of people in South Asia who are entertainment savvy. So if you see, Netflix has gone really up. So OTT platforms, Netflix has gone up. And there's a lot of people also. So right now in the world, the two most number one spot was for sports before the pandemic. Now sports is nowhere to be found. Sports meaning sports content, sports sites were the number one sites that were visited. So followed by news. So now news is obviously the top in terms of visits and everything. Then comes entertainment, and so, like surprisingly, fitness is number third right now. Meaning a lot of people are searching for fitness apps and fitness sites, how to stay fit, how to strengthen my immunity and all those things. So we know like these audiences are present in these basically in these platforms and these sites. So for brands to communicate, you need to also communicate to your consumers at the right place with the right communication. So for example, if you're a bank, like I mentioned, you shouldn't be communicating to someone who is, let's say, a Netflix savvy person, and you are constantly communicating to them, we are providing virtual banking. Probably they are not interested at this banking part, but there is a huge chunk of people who are just worried about finance. So maybe they will be the right consumer to you. So you need to promote saying virtual banking to that consumers, and communicate something else to the other personas of consumers that we have. So so like I said, a lot of consumers are reacting differently. So we need to identify based on our own data and the data available with agencies and with other platforms. We need to basically react fast based on this data. And also this data is not linear. So meaning every week things are changing. So every week new situation. So with every extension, people's behavior are changing. Maybe people are getting more depressed. With every extension, their behavior pattern is changing. So you have to look at this thing on a week by week basis. And obviously a lot of overall scenario, internet usage has gone up by 70%, and TV viewing has gone up by almost 30%. And these are the global scenario. So, and people are also staying a lot of, people are spending more time on the existing platforms. And one of the huge issue that is going around is the trustability. In terms of, there are a lot of news coming in from a lot of sites. So people are going back to the primary platform, as in the major news portals or major print medias, to actually uh, authenticate the news. Because even the government sites, you don't know whether they're trustable or not, because there are a lot of sites that has opened which you didn't know about and are giving you information. So probably you can find a lot of sites named covid19.com, covid19.com.np, which has some authoritative logo. So you don't know whether they're trustworthy or not. So a lot of so the major players in the news media are also gaining a lot of consumers at this moment, because a lot of people are going there to get valuable information. So that also becomes a good spot for us to communicate to our consumers.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, ATL or digital case, we got some insight in terms of how should consumer the brand react, and what consumer might be expecting. So there are a few questions we have in terms of BTL, and मेरो पनि question चाहिँ similar line मा छ. So I'll just merge two of the questions. So one of the participants ले पनि question गर्नु भएको छ. So Samir, I think the question that we have in the question box is somewhere to what I also wanted to ask. So the road ahead of digital, so post COVID चाहिँ BTL as a whole कसरी prepare हुनु पर्ला अनि के गर्नु पर्ला. So अलिकति clarity यसमा if you can give us, then I think your participant को clarity question मा उ आउँछ.
All right, thank you, Keval. Obviously, I think for all ATL, BTL, digital, we must have a very robust road plan ahead. So to keep it short, because I think we're running out of time also, I would say there are basically three challenges that we'll be facing. अहिलेको situation मा चाहिँ, first is obviously now we have to come up with a plan that is COVID friendly. So we've been talking more about COVID friendly agency and COVID friendly actions that we have to do. So obviously adhering to all the rules and regulations, safety guys. So if the best example would be, so Denmark they come up with a very nice concept called driving concerts. So that the whole and that took the world. So even Germany and even the Americans, the artists in America are following the same. So so I think I wouldn't be surprised if someone in Nepal also come up with that concept of the first drive-in concert in Nepal also. So it's just the idea we should come up with. And idea now, then the second challenge would be to convince your client that your target group is ready. So because and also don't want to take that risk. And in third part, being a BTL agency, we do a lot of on-ground events and activities. We have to convince government about our plans, that our plans are adhering to all the safety and regulations, is COVID friendly. So I think these are the three challenges that we should take up. Definitely the things will come back to normal as Arvind. People want to go out, have fun, interact with brands. So अब things normal हुन्छ then obviously, but then अहिले चाहिँ I also addressed more on this is the time for innovation. So यदि हामीले चाहिँ probably technology-लाई rightly use गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ this is the time. I'll just give a short example, like we can come up with a digital vending machines that will be placed in different hotspots or malls. We can come up with interactive kiosks where the interaction will be very less. We can also come up with virtual reality and AR, augmented reality. We can also come up with interactive billboards. Basically, technology infused गरेर चाहिँ if we can maintain that interaction with your existing target group during this time, I think it will be very fruitful. As COVID-19 as a threat, there are a lot of opportunities also. There are so many people jobless, so focus more on HR. So door-to-door is one way of generating jobs as well as helping clients to reach out to their directed target groups, whether it be a product selling, product awareness, or any service awareness. So we can come up with call centers, contact centers to help clients touch their customers. And as I said before, also probably we can also look into various health-related campaigns as well. So I think these are the few things that we have to look upon in BTL market.
Okay. So for the participants, we still have few minutes left. So if you have any questions, so put on the Q&A section. So Sabab, there's a question directed towards e-commerce. So I'd like to take I would like you to answer this question. Do you think e-commerce business will boost up for white goods home appliances? A question. So if you can just answer this,
So basically what is happening right now, we all have to understand. So right now digital is picking up and picking up drastically. And a lot of brands, and we have talked to a lot of people, and they think that this is going to sustain. So what we also need to understand, the exponential growth of digital is also going to come down when things go back to normal. But definitely digital will play a major role in terms of the future. Because if again something happen, people needs to be ready. That doesn't only mean digital, they will be ready in their own field. But right now with digital being the primary channel, because we do not have anything else, so a lot of brands who were not thinking of digital are also coming digital. So to answer that specific question, white goods industry always had a good market in e-commerce. It's not only because of this particular situation, but yes, right now moving forward immediately, yes, it will definitely pick up. But once people gain confidence and once people can go and see the product for themselves, it will obviously be and stay as a major channel, but it will not take over the whole industry, because people don't like complication. And electronics, furnitures, these are something that people like to experience and people like to be explained to. So even tomorrow you want to buy a mixer, you would want to see a lot of things, you want to be explained a lot of things, whether that be online or offline. So people don't like that. Sorry, people want that. So people need that interaction. Now, if everything becomes digital, then your e-commerce business will grow up. But if you are only selling the product on a site, then that will not be your primary channel for this business. So to answer shortly, I think this is a good time to invest on e-commerce and have that channel ready, because you will have a lot of sales happening from that part. Even future that will contribute to your certain percentage of sales, but that cannot be, if you are a retail store right now, that will probably not be your major channel for sales.
Okay, there's one more question. So your question say Arvind direct garchu. So Arvind, what do you think about your lockdown bistari normalize huncha, open up huncha, we are sure to go back to normal? So your case matching ETL in specific, and maybe you can add on BTL and digital also. So ke ko lagi chahi prepare garnu parla. So how should what should be our major focus after the lockdown opens and we go back to the normal?
I think the definition of normal is going to change, first of all.
Yes,
Starting
definitely.
with people going to office, working at office. I mean, simple thing like attendance for that matter. We have a biometric system at office, so we actually stopped it even before the lockdown started. So going back, we'll probably have to go back to the old style of attendance. So I mean, people going out for lunch is not going to be normal. So a very easy definition of normal is that social distancing is going to be normal. मान्छेहरू एकअर्कासँग भेट्दाखेरि जुन डिस्टेन्स राखेर भेट्छ, a very act of shaking hands is going to change. अब we took a lot of time to slowly shift away from हाम्रो traditional namaste to handshakes and fist bumps to high fives and all. But now with this, we're going to probably immediately switch back to namaste as a normal tool. In terms of marketing communication, the new normal, as I said, technology मा धेरै कुराहरु इन्भेस्ट हुन्छ हैन. We are going to infuse technology into BTL also, and Samirले पनि touch upon गरिसकेको छ. So we are going to create ways where we can interact with our customers on a direct personal level, but not gather crowd. We're going to look at production processes for quite some period of time where we do not have to go out and be in a bigger crowd to do the production. Our digital as it is, we are staying home, so so the bigger changes in terms of marketing communication and especially advertising agency ko part ma kura गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ नि मेरो विचारमा the new normal is going to be where we're going to do a lot of things based on technology. We're going to avoid gathering crowds. BTL मा पनि हामी त्यो प्लानहरु गरेर राखेका छौं. How do we bring in technology to ensure that भन्ने कुराहरु अनि हिजोको दिनमा चाहिँ नि product sampling individually आफै गएर पर्सनली मान्छेलाई भेटेर गराउँथे भने अहिले do we create a kiosk where there is an interactive digital MC or a digital what do you call it, BPs, staying there and interacting with the customers. So individual interactions are common. So that's what is going to be normal. In terms of media or medium, I think digital is going to be the first to revive in terms of the ad spend also. ATL will revive after that, and BTL is going to take us some time to revive, but we are sure that all three of these mediums are going to go back to normal. ढिलो चाँडो मात्रै हो फर्किन्छ नर्मलमा. र एटीएल को केसमा चाहिँ नि प्रिन्टमा मात्रै हो हामीले अहिले एज अ मिडियम चाहिँ नि च्यालेन्ज भनेको. टेलिभिजन इज स्टिल बिङ भ्युड फाइन, देयर इज नो प्रब्लम हैन. र रेडियो एज इट इज वाज अ भेरी स्मल कन्ट्रिब्युसन अन द ओभरअल एड स्पेन्ड. सो त्यो रेडियोको चाहिँ नि त्यो घटबढमा खासै फरक परिरहेको छैन. अहिले त बढेकै होला सायद डेटा हामीसँग छैन, बट आई एम श्योर इट्स इन्क्रिज्ड. So print is where ATL part ma chani it will take some time to go back to normal. One of my very good examples of print readership is my dad, who has been looking at prints for last 25 years regularly. अस्ति चाहिँ केही दिनसम्म चाहिँ अनलाइन हेर्नु हुन्छ, आज बाहिर निस्किनु पत्रिका पाउनु भएछ, किनेर ल्याएर घरमा आएर पत्रिका पढ्नु भयो. So he has not switched immediately. So he'll take time because उहाँलाई त्यो बानी बसेको 25 वर्ष भइसकेको छ. यो 45 दिनले उहाँको बानी चेन्ज हुनेवाला छैन. So people are still going to go out and buy papers. So त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think त्यही हो, new normal is what I said.
So there's one more question. So I think we have a few minutes. So I'd just like to take up this question, and this question say Arvind Dailai नै direct गर्छु. So digital question चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने digital has been picking up really quite well in past few years. And TV was was decreasing. For the new normal, TV will also be is also picking up as much as so digital is doing. So what do you think? Is this going to be the new normal? Is TV will TV continue to increase, or will this be going back to the normal like it was before COVID?
Interestingly, TV, as I said, has increased. So COVID ले गर्दाखेरि TV increase भएको छ. र traditionally पनि नेपालको केसमा because we've always been in a scenario of political instability. केही न केही न्युजहरु भइरहेको हुन्छ. हामी आफ्नै लाइफ पिरियडमा पनि हामीले लास्ट 15-20 वर्षको चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ नि पोलिटिकल हिस्ट्री हेर्ने हो भने I mean there have been so many changes that probably happens once in मान्छेको लाइफ टाइममा हैन. So we've seen a lot of things. जसले गर्दाखेरि एउटा प्रब्लम सल्भ भयो, अर्को प्रब्लम सल्भ भयो, अर्को प्रब्लम हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ नि because of the political instability and the political news न्युजको लागि मात्र भए पनि मान्छेले टेलिभिजन हेर्छ. And almost every TV channel in Nepal is based on news content. Right? Slowly, to that addition, with the new reality shows and other entertainment programs coming in, that is going to add on to the TV viewership. होइन सो कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि द शिफ्ट इज अलरेडी देयर टु द डिजिटल बट टिभीबाट चाहिँ त्यो इमिडिएट स्विच चाहिँ नेपालको मार्केटमा चाहिँ हुँदैन जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ सो टिभी इज गोइङ टु रिमेन आई मिन यो ग्रोथ सायद अलिकति घट्ला वन्स वी गो ब्याक टु नर्मल इन कोभिड यो न्युज कन्जम्सनको रेट अलिकति कम होला अनि अर्को एउटा चिज जुन हामीले डेटाको कुरा गरिरहेको थियो त्यो डेटाको केसमा पनि के छ भन्दाखेरि आई मिन द ट्रस्ट फ्याक्टर of the customers while they consume news and all is highest on national news. True for your South Asian countries. Right? So more than the government ko चाहिँ specific तपाईको चाहिँ यो हेरे नेशनल न्युजलाई चाहिँ मान्छेले बढी ट्रस्ट गर्छ त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि त्यसको लागि मात्र भए पनि मान्छेले पत्रिका र टिभी चाहिँ कन्ज्युम गर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई I hope
to add on to that, just one thing. So this TV, basically, when we are saying TV consumption, we also need to be clear depending on the countries. TV consumption meaning TV so a lot of OTT platforms are going to come. So streaming is going to increase more. So which will also in turn increase the general DTH ones or cable, whatever. Whichever country uses what. So that will also increase to a certain extent. And this is going to stay for some time. And that some time is substantial time to think for your media usage or plan your media usage moving forward. Because that time we're talking about is not going to be a couple of weeks or a couple of months. That is going to stay like exactly we cannot foresee, but that is going to stay at least for a year or so. So it's a good enough time for you to rethink your investment plans, and mostly TV consumptions are going to increase because people will maintain social distancing and stay inside. Even previously, if they were staying outside for 6 hours, now probably they will limit it to 3 hours. So that 3 hours time adds on to the indoor place. So your home consumption, TV consumption gets increased. We on digital also have seen mobile usage has gone down and a little bit, and desktop usage has gone up. That only happened because people are indoors. People are using more computers. So obviously now what they will be what they will see on TV is also important, and they are because they will be streaming a lot of they'll be streaming from a lot of platforms. So that those platforms will have to be kept in mind.
Very true.
That's true. Okay, I think we can take one more question, and we already have one. So, Sabab, I'll direct this question to you. Like you said, e-commerce is going to take the leap, and so there's a question about automobile industry. So, what, in your view, is going to be, in automobile industry in general?
Okay. So what we have seen from now and what we are predicting is basically automotive industries, what we feel is going to come out strong after this pandemic is over. And they will have, if everything planned right, communicated right with the proper channels and communication, they shall recover very quickly, and they shall come out really strong. There are a few things why we think that. Number one, moving forward, people will try to avoid public transport. So they would want personal vehicle. Let that be car. So people will probably use more car. In Nepal's case, if that is a two-wheeler, people would want to use their own two-wheeler. Whatever the scene is, people would want to avoid crowd, and public transport is a crowd. So they would prefer local private vehicle. Also, I don't know, in terms of the challenges can be in terms of meeting the demand. The supply chain can be an issue because a lot of, depending on what you are manufacturing and what you are importing. So meeting the demand can also be a challenge. So for automotive brands, they need to also prepare because right now we have a time to prepare for what is going to happen. So they might also, they might need to prepare for all the scenarios that might happen in the country. But in a short answer, we all feel automotive is going to come out strong.
Thank you, Sabab. So we are almost by the end of this webinar. But if there is any final thought that you want to add into whatever we discussed, so Arvind, Is there anything you want to
Yeah.
add as an ending note?
I would like to end with a very positive note. हामीलाई चाहिँ नि हामी इन्टरनली जति पनि कुराहरू गर्छौँ, जति पनि प्लानिङ गर्छौँ, we are very clear, we are very sure that we will come out of this. A lot of industries are going to suffer definitely, but यो लकडाउनहरू सकिसकेपछि अथवा चाहिँ कोरोनाको एक लेभलको प्रब्लम्सहरू सकिसकेपछि सबैलाई दे हेभ टु कम ब्याक टु नर्मल, जसले गर्दाखेरि सबैले स्पेन्ड गर्नै पर्छ प्रमोसनमा, दे हेभ टु स्पेन्ड मोर एक्चुअली। र जति छ मार्केटमा चाहिँ च्यालेन्जेसहरू सबैले आफ्नो इन्डस्ट्रीमा आफ्नो लेभलमा त्यो च्यालेन्जहरू फेस गरेर जान्छ। हामीले आफ्नो एक्सपिरियन्स पास्टमा विथ द लकडाउन ब्लकेड फ्यु इयर्स ब्याक एन्ड द अर्थक्वेक, we've seen that we've come out of those problems faster than expected definitely, हैन? त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि I'm very positive that we're going to come out of this problem also very soon. I mean जुन लेभलमा चाहिँ इकोनोमिस्टहरूले चाहिँ खत्तमै हुन्छ डुबाउने भयो, अब यो चाहिँ वर्ल्डलाई खत्तम हुने भयो, I mean they are calling it mother of all depressions, which is scary word in itself. So I don't believe in that. It's going to be problem, definitely problem to huncha, but I think we're going to come out of that good and faster.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you. Samir, is there anything you want to add?
Nothing much to add on. Obviously things will come back to normal, and अहिलेको सिचुएसनमा चाहिँ प्रोबेबली अलिकति फोकस जस्तो हामीले बिङ अ बिटिएल एजेन्सी हामीले बढी इभेन्ट्स एक्टिभेसन्स गर्थ्यौँ भने अब अहिले त अब बिकज गभर्मेन्ट विल अल्सो नट अलाउ अस टु ग्यादर क्राउड, अनि क्लाइन्टको पनि कन्फिडेन्स छैन टु ग्यादर क्राउड एन्ड अल, सो प्रोबेबली फोकस मोर अन वान इन्टरेक्सनतिर फोकस गऱ्यो भने चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इट विल बी मोर फ्रुटफुल भन्ने जस्तो देख्छु म चाहिँ। That's about in BTL industry.
So thank you. I think we've come to an end. We've crossed a bit, but yeah, we've got the final thoughts from everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the participation, and thank you to our panelists, for your valuable insight. So this was the initiation of Brand Leaders Nepal on Digital Advantage. So Brand Leaders Nepal is definitely going to come up with such kind of webinar in coming days also. So you can join the group. It's for the marketeers to discuss and initiate this kind of discussion, and maybe we can take it to the next level. And if there's any guest you'd like, we'd also want to take it more in that terms in future. So thank you everyone for your time and participation. Thank you to the panelists also. All right.
Thank you
everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe.
Okay.